Welcome to Content Chaos with George and Call, a weekly podcast diving straight into meaningful conversations about navigating modern life. Using their weekly review framework, they explore personal growth, professional insights, and cultural observations. No fluff, just authentic dialogue that transforms chaos into clarity.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Starting with a big, deep breath.
Yeah.
I'm keeping myself regulated, self-regulated through the somatic tools that are available to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably have to stay on that more than usual, I would guess.
Definitely. Maybe we'll just start off. I would like to pick up where we left off last week, the mystery of the Humberty inquiry. For those who may have missed it in last week's podcast, I had mentioned that I received a missive from the company Humberty, the manufacturer of the bird feeder cam, that has really opened me up to the bird scrolling space. Is it bird scrolling? What was the term I called it? Yeah.
Listing?
Bird scrolling. Instead of doom scrolling. Anyway, I tracked down, and yes, it was actually the marketing department of Humberty reaching out to me, and they really just wanted me to write a review on Amazon and send me a $100 gift card. So it was really no big deal. I continue to love the Humberty, and nobody's doing phishing to get our information, our precious bird viewing information.
Yeah. That's a pretty generous review bounty, though.
I know. And if they only knew, we also did a podcast. And I had I've been sending videos to my friends. You know, people are like, it's a stressful moment in America and in the world. And rather than looking at all the garbage out there, I like to look at birds. It's a lot more fun. And I just send it to people and we enjoy it.
Yeah, it's cool.
So with that, let's jump right into what went well in the past week for you, George.
We literally weathered the actual storm, and I felt prepared. I also felt that superstitiously, I knew in filling the gas cans for the big generator, that would mean we'd have power the whole time and nothing would happen. Because if I didn't, we would lose power.
Of course, naturally.
So I felt like that all went well. On the business front, continuing to launch this new stuff. It's just taking a little longer than planned. My first big milestone, I got out there and then I realized I want to update a bunch of other things now that that's out there before I make a big deal out of it. So keeping things going while I'm working on that as well. So I feel good about that. So not a huge week, but
yeah, cool.
How about you?
So I would say what went well. I would start with the people of Minneapolis. That went well because this is Content Chaos. We can talk about anything. And I would just say the people of Minneapolis showing up in record numbers. And despite all of the horribleness, don't fuck with them, man. Don't fuck with Minneapolis. Don't fuck with Americans. Like, dude, this country is founded on we don't like kings. And I was very happy to see the number of people who turned out, and I thought that was inspiring.
Yeah. And I spent go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, it's
your what went well.
No, but I want to hear what you're thinking. What were you going to say?
I was going to say I've spent a lot of time in Minneapolis because I ran, sort of like a chief revenue officer for a small company there. So I was there monthly for a while. It was also the first big SHRM, Society for Human Resource Management conference that I went to, was in Minneapolis. And the people there were it's just a really nice place. The people are really kind. I've always had a good time there. I've always had, from a business perspective, I really do well with the Midwesterners, So I've always had this great affinity toward Minneapolis and the people there.
Yeah.
So it wasn't surprising to me to see that they're supporting each other, but it was kind of just like to see, like, don't provoke them, like it's they're, it was really cool. You're right.
Yeah.
It did go well.
Yeah.
That part of it.
On the same token, very heartbreaking to watch everything that's going on and to receive texts from one of my dear friends who lives in Minneapolis. And I mean, it's devastating, but you focus on the good stuff too, and the resilience and the ferocity of the people of Minneapolis is something we should be happy about.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so moving on to what could have been better.
Well, that was kind of my what could have been better too.
Yeah.
Was, and I, it's obviously the murders were awful, gut-wrenching, but at a higher level, just I don't think I have a call in my business world life right now that doesn't start with something about that, whether it's somebody in Europe who's like, there was a friend who's also came from Minneapolis, posted this thing today. The world is watching the United States like the United States watched the Tiger King right now. And so I was like, that is, I feel like I'm apologizing for, just commiserating with the people out there, but then also people here in the US. It's just everybody has this extra level of stress and anxiety right now. And I think that is exactly what they want.
Yes.
And that's why your what went well is so important. Like we're getting a masterclass from the folks in Minnesota and Minneapolis on how to be a community, how to support each other. I mean, I'm reading about the stuff that they're doing to help each other on the ground and in that city. That's just, it's so, I feel like obviously the state of things, and that's not the only thing, the whole Greenland thing was ridiculous. Just everything that's going on right now at that level is stress inducing. It could be a lot better, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. So now my turn.
Your turn.
So mine is very specifically the bro code. What could be better is the bro code in corporate America and business to act, the denial, like to act. I had to put on CNBC this morning. I mean, to act like business as usual is insane. And I don't want to work with people who don't acknowledge like this is extremely abnormal. And I was very, very pleased actually today when I opened the DealBook newsletter, which I've read every day for the 20 years it's been going on, or however long it's been, from Andrew Ross Sorkin. It said, who's going to speak up? And it's in his book. I'm going to hold it up because it's right here. It's actually propping up my laptop right now. But this book, holy cow. Okay, it's a big book. But he's talking about 1929 and all the factors that came into creating that situation. And it was preventable and it was predictable because of bro code, backroom dealings, people saying one thing in public and a different thing behind the scenes, and not standing in their integrity. And this is the moment we're in. We need people to speak up and tell the truth, and especially the people who are, the leaders. So that could definitely be better. The bro code of corporate America needs to be better. There's some people have spoken up, but not enough of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope, I feel as though when I look out in my travels, I think people are starting to expect more, and
sorry,
they're sort of waiting for that. No, I mean, I didn't mean it in the way that
I know you
took it, but I think the silence is starting to become more visible, I guess, or we're hearing the silence a little more because things are just that far off the rails.
I like to give you an example. I unsubscribed from certain publications and writers who are proceeding as if this is all, normal state of affairs, because I don't want to be part of that. I'm done. I'm out of that. Like I can go in and like dip in and listen to them and hear what they're saying. But in general, like I just can't operate that way anymore. So, and to the point where the folks who do acknowledge it, I retweet them, I reshare them, I write thank yous to them, because we have to normalize and give people, the feeling of like, oh, actually it's good to tell the truth rather than to avoid it and act like it's not happening. Okay, what'd you learn this week?
I feel like this was the hardest one to put my thoughts around this week just because it's just been, busy, and I didn't feel like I had any, monumental learnings.
Yeah.
But I do continue to learn and adapt in this, I guess, from a business perspective, and, with the stuff that I'm launching that's new and AI. I feel like, everything's evolving there quite rapidly. So I'm definitely learning a lot. It's just hard for me to not repeat myself or sound like it's what I've been learning for weeks.
Yeah.
But it is definitely, my mentally exhausted at the end of every day
Yeah.
at this point. Just, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's like getting a good workout, but yeah.
Good.
How
Excellent.
about you?
Okay, so what I've learned is I started a new course at Rutgers in comparative education, and I'm just so freaking excited about it because it is exactly what I'm working on and studying. It's bringing together all of my different domains. And I should say I'm learning. So my master's degree in 2000 was about media reporting on media. And trust in journalism as an institution was this was in, 2000 or 1999, an all-time low. Well, guess what? The low keeps getting lower. And I'm learning that my thing that I'm studying is kind of picking up where I left off. And it's very exciting to me. So my theory or my idea back then was that if we had more media criticism, media reporting on media, it would be the best way to solve the problem because, you don't want the government, jumping in and suppressing the First Amendment. So media reporting on media, theoretically, I thought would be the best way to heal thyself kind of situation. But it is not happened at all because at the same time, um, you know, the world has come apart, the information ecosystem has come apart at the seams, and you have professional journalism's commingled with content, self-appointed citizen journalists, content creators, and also varying levels of education. And now this hyper sophisticated technology that can create things that look factual and real that are not. So it's content chaos is what it is. And I'm just learning that this intellectual pursuit, I didn't realize that I was following it all along, and I'm picking it up again. It all centers around this notion of objectivity and scientific discovery. And I'm just excited because it's a lot going on right now.
That's great.
So not the most coherent answer from me either. But I'm definitely excited. So
yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot to be excited about there.
Yeah. All right. Well, as we head out, I just want to share one other thought, which was when I woke up on Sunday morning and it was like overdosing on news and all the stuff that had happened over the weekend. I was getting so dysregulated. Charlie was like trying to sleep on me to make me stop looking at my laptop. And then I crashed into slumber because I was so exhausted by all of it.
Charlie's our dog, but
Charlie's our dog. And I just think I would just urge everyone to be good to yourselves and whatever information you're taking in, just be good to yourself and don't overdose on all of this chaos because some people are really susceptible to it, and it's not healthy to keep watching all of it. It's really just not good for you.
Good advice.
My little PSA.
All right.
All right.
Good stuff. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.